Welcome to the ABCs of Preschool. I'm Miss Amber. Thank you for listening. Today's topic is burnout. I hope this relates to a lot of you, and I'm sure it's going to relate to a lot of you. And specifically today, I'm going to talk about management burnout. Are you a center owner? Are you a center director, assistant director? Are you leading a team? You might not even own a child care center. You may be a mama or a dad, a parent who is volunteering so much or in leadership positions at church, work, and you're just feeling exhausted. You feel the burnout. If that is you, this episode is for you. And if you know someone who is struggling right now with exhaustion and burnout, please share this episode because all of us at one point in our lives have struggled with burnout, have wanted to just go into our bed, put the covers over and hide and not talk to anybody, see anybody, hear anybody, just want to close our eyes and fall asleep because we're so overwhelmed. I've been there. There was many points in my own life as a working mom, a new entrepreneur, a child care center owner, being teacher, director, owner, mom, volunteer, a person who felt like I had to do things and do more things and accomplish more to feel loved and to feel desired. And I needed that pat on the back. I was that person for so long. I was that person. And the burnout is real. And for me, it manifested in illness and in sickness and maybe my cancer. A few years after cancer, for 1 year, I was so sick with a horrible cough. I could barely breathe. I remember going to the grocery store, just getting a few groceries in like 20 minutes. I would have to go sit in my car. I was exhausted because I was under so much stress and burnout. But instead of pausing and acknowledging it, I kept going because if I could stay busy, I wouldn't have to think about it. If I could stay busy, I could still have the admiration. If I could stay busy, I could have people telling me how awesome I was doing. But in fact, I was so burnt out. My body was so sick. And I was sick on and off for years. And I'm telling you, years. I would be the person that always get the weird illness. I would get these weird rashes, weird viruses. I would have to go to like the urgent care and get shots up my butt. I always got the weird stuff. And today I'm so happy and healthy and strong. And that's my mantra. I am happy, healthy, and strong. And I rarely get sick today. I've really changed that pattern. So if you're feeling the burnout, especially like if you are a center director, if you are a center owner, if you are a parent that is just feeling pulled in so many directions and you're just feeling burnt out, I'm hoping to encourage you, to give you a few steps to work through that and hopefully break through and choose a different path. Because in reality, if we're going to be raw and honest and have a really hard look in the mirror, it's us. It is us putting ourselves in that position. And I think the first step in trying to not have burnout in your life anymore is taking ownership. As hard as it is to take a look inwards, take ownership, take a good hard look in the mirror and Ask yourself, why am I running 100 miles an hour? Why do I feel like I have to take on everybody's responsibilities? Why do I have to feel this pressure? Why do I feel like a perfectionist? Why? That is step one. We have to admit that we are the ones that are driving our life. There is nobody else that's driving our life. Now, there's outside circumstances, we've got partners, we've got kids, we've got responsibilities, but ultimately, we are the driver of our lives. Things happen that are out of our control. But for the most part, if you said yes to volunteering, if you said yes to opening a childcare center, if you said yes to being a director, if you said yes to your work schedule, we said yes. So the core of it is we have to ask ourselves why. What are we getting in return for extending ourselves so much that we are so burnt out? And it might be manifesting in illness, it might be manifesting in not sleeping at night. It may be manifesting because you're so snappy, you have no patience because you just have nothing left to give. Whatever it looks like for you, we have to ask ourselves why. Why are we overextending ourselves to the point of exhaustion and burnout? For my why, it took me years to figure it out. But my why was my coping mechanism. It was my coping mechanism to stay absolutely busy, to stay absolutely swamped, to say yes to everything, to volunteer, to work, to do all of it. I wasn't feeling validated in my marriage. I didn't feel loved in my marriage. So all the external things I took on was my adoration and was my love. It was my identity. And so I took on more and more and more to get I loved the comment, I don't know how you do it all. I loved it. And I would think, yeah, I just do. And I'm still a really great multitasker and I still have a lot on my plate, but not like I used to. And I will never, ever go backwards. So we have to acknowledge that we are the driver of our lives. We are the ones that say yes. And so the first step is acknowledgement. And if you are truly, truly at your wits' ends and you are so burnt out, you have to make a change, you can do it. You can make that change. It's not going to be easy. You're going to disappoint people. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have people upset with you. But what is more important? Last week's episode was time, making time a priority with our kids. That goes across to you as well in self-care. But burnout is real and you are not good to anybody if you're so burnt out. If you are a leader of your school, an owner, a director, and you're so burnt out, it's trickling down to all your staff. They can feel it. They can feel it. When I was so overwhelmed in my life, it spilled out into my school. As much as I didn't want it to, it just did because I'm so stressed. I was so pulled at so many directions. So we have to admit the why. And it may look ugly. You may not want to admit the why you do it and why you overextend yourself. You might not want to admit it. But that's the first step. We have to admit our why. Mine was to cope with I stayed so busy because I didn't want to acknowledge what was going on behind closed doors in my marriage. And that's the truth of it. My marriage was dark and ugly, and I wore a mask for a lot of years. It was really hard. That relationship was hard on me, like extremely hard. So I didn't want to feel it and think about it. So that was my coping mechanism. Number two, we've got to identify our weakness. Like, what is our weakness in our work or the kids or our schedules or volunteering? Like, what are we not good at? Because sometimes we do so many things, especially if you own your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, What is your weakness in your job? I know for me, it's the little things, the little tiny details like all the minute, like the files and just keeping all the little tiny details is my weakness. If you can take those weaknesses off of your plate, or what's the things that you really, really hate to do in your house and in your life? Like, what is it that does not bring you joy, but you keep doing it? Can you take that off of your plate and give it to someone else, especially if it's your weaknesses? My weakness is, like I said, all the little details. Once I finally figured that in my business and I started to bring other people on to shine because they were really good at my weaknesses, it took it off my plate and I passed it to someone else. It was like a light bulb moment. So what are your weaknesses? What are the things that you're doing right now that does not bring you joy, but it keeps you up at night? Those are the things first that you have got to change up. Can you pass those things on to someone else? Can you just say no? Can you say no to that volunteer opportunity? Can you say no to, if you're an owner of a center, especially, I know the burnout is so real in childcare centers. Some people, so many people work 12-hour days. That's insane. That's crazy. Imagine that. Can you take something off your plate and pass it? That's the second thing. What's your weaknesses that you can pass to someone else? The third thing is, can you hire? So when you're taking those weaknesses, can you spend a little money and hire it out? So, especially as an owner of a business, so many entrepreneurs and so many owners of businesses and so many childcare center owners. I did this forever. You're teaching, you're planning your curriculum, you're hiring, you are subbing, you are owning, you're doing the tours, you are doing everything. And that means, as an entrepreneur, as an owner, you are working in your business. I want to get you to work on your business, not in it. Get out of the rat race, truly. Because once you do, it's life changing. Like, it is life changing. In 2019, oh, it was rough. I think it was probably my darkest years of my life. And so many things were happening. And that was a moment where, after 20 years, like 19 years running my business, working in the business, doing all of it, doing so much, I took a year sabbatical and I said, I got to take a step back. And there was many reasons for that. And a lot of those reasons were, I wasn't done healing from my divorce, and my divorce was so traumatic. So many dark things happened through that process that I never could have imagined. And if I would have known those things were going to happen, I don't think I could have been strong enough to leave that marriage. I'm so thankful I did, for many reasons, but all the things that came were so dark and so hard. I felt so broken. I felt like shattered into 1,000 pieces. So in 2019, in the spring of 2019, I was so broken in many ways that I had to take a step back, and I decided to take a year's sabbatical. And so what I did was, for my businesses, for my preschools, I had a full team, an amazing team, amazing group of team members that shined, and all the things that were my weaknesses, they are so good at. And I stepped back for the first time ever. And I started to work on the business and not in it. And that was life changing. And it turned 1 year turned into 5 this June. I did go in for a minute for about 6 months last year because I opened up a new school and I wanted it to succeed. But it has been almost 5 years now that I've worked on my business and not in it. And it has been life changing. And let me tell you, when you can pass the torch and you can take your weaknesses or break up your job or some of your responsibilities and pass things, You won't have this burnout anymore. And what's happened with my business, it has thrived the most amazing. It's done so much better than when I was in it trying to do everything half-assed. To be honest, when you are working in your business and you're burnt out and you're trying to fix the laundry, you're trying to sub, you're trying to hire, you're trying to teach, you're trying to do the folders, you're trying to do this and that and be a parent, you're not really good at hardly anything because you're so spread thin. But if you can find your weakness and pass those, and what's the things you're passionate about, and you shine, like I have the creativity. I love to create. I like to see the bigger picture with my business. That's where you shine, and that's where it brings you your joy. So hire, pass things. It's okay. I know it's going to be a cost at the beginning and upfront. Like if you are an owner and you're feeling so burnt out, hire a director. Hire someone to come in and take things off your plate. And guess what? They may be so much better than you that your school is going to be so much better. If you're a mama and you're feeling so burnt out, can you maybe hire a babysitter that comes in twice a week or once a week for a couple hours, just so you can go and just take a breath and breathe? If we are not taking care of ourselves and recognizing the burnout, then we are not serving others, the people that we love, in the best capacity, because we are not serving ourselves. And it really, stress and burnout manifests in physical, real ailments. Truly, believe me, I have had breast cancer, had my breasts removed. I've had to go into early menopause. I had to have a full hysterectomy. I have nothing left in me. I've had my boobs taken away. I've had all my female parts taken away. I have a cardiologist now. I've been post-menopause for going on, this will be my 10th year this December. I have got some heart things going on. I've had some gut things going on. I had brain surgery that's coming up 2 years ago. I had frozen shoulder. It manifests. And if we are the drivers of our life, what is the life that you want to have? What is that life that you want to have? You've got to make it a priority, just like making time a priority like last week. And acknowledging you have burnout is the first thing. And why do you have the burnout? What is driving you to do so many things? What is that pressure? And then second is identifying your weaknesses, the things that do not bring you joy, so you can pass those off, give them to someone else that loves to do those things. Take them off your plate. 3, hire someone. Yeah, give it to someone else. Hire someone. It's okay if it might cost a little bit of money, because especially in the business, if you hire people that love to do the things that you don't like to do, your business is going to shine even more. And 4, schedule. Again, calendar it in our life. If we do not put things on the calendar and work around what's on the calendar, make your priority in life is at dinner with your husband or wife once a week, your partner. Is that date nights with one of your children once a week? Is that you need a massage once a month? You're going to go get a massage or a facial. Schedule it. Block that time off and make it a priority. Truly, self-care. Is it a walk? I really, here's something else that's changed my life is walking. And as moms, as parents with little ones, your days are so long. So you're like, I don't even have time. I could hear it right now. I don't have time for a walk. I do not have time. You have no idea how busy my life is. Believe me, I know. I was there for almost 20 years. I ran nonstop, as in doing things like crazy. And I would just crash in my bed at night. Or we can be stubborn as parents and mamas, and we think we stay up late because you're on your phone and you want just some quiet time alone. So then you stay up and you're not getting the sleep that you need. Sleep is such a priority in our life that no one really talks about it. For as parents, we want our little ones to get the best sleep and long amounts of sleep because we know they're growing. But sleep affects us as well, like so much. We need all of this to be working, and sleep is so important. I know for me, I need 9 hours of sleep every night, and then I function really well. But I would encourage you to wake up early in your morning. Wake up 30 minutes early before the kids. And if you can, walk. If you're a single parent, maybe just go walk in your backyard. Go walk in your backyard. Just move your body. Get outside, breathe the fresh air. I just get up early, half hour, if it's going around the block or whatever. Just go move your body for a few minutes. Another thing I really like to journal is thing I like to do is journal. Like morning routine really starts the day fresh and centered. I really can't stress that enough. Maybe I'll do an episode of that. But burnout is real, everybody. And I know it, I hear it. But as drivers of our life, we have to be intentional of how we want our lives to look. And now for me, it has been so life changing. That sabbatical a year ago has been so life changing. I can never go backwards. I can never go backwards. I can never go back into the hamster wheel and run and move and take on so many things because I am for the in my adult life, first time in my adult life, I am healthy and strong and I rarely get sick. And it's amazing. I cannot trade that for anything anymore. So I send you love. I send you kindness. I send you grace. And I just want to encourage you to start being that driver of your life. How do you want your life to look? If it's not the way if your life is not the way you want it, change it up. Really sit down, give yourself 10 to 15 minutes. Think about what you can pass off. Think about your why. Why are you doing all these things? Think about if you can hire someone to help. Maybe that's a babysitter for 2 hours a week. Maybe that's someone to come fold your laundry. I know I hate folding laundry. Now I can put my laundry in and wash it every day, all day. But for some reason, putting it away does not bring me joy. I do it anyways. But at work, can you leave earlier? Do not work those 12 hours anymore. Make it a priority. I'm leaving at 3. And you're going to bring in a closer if you're a center owner. Schedule. Put things on the calendar that bring you joy and work around those things. I hope you have just a beautiful week. And I hope that if you are in the midst of burnout, that you can start taking the steps and take control back over your life. Peace, calmness is so much more important than a freaking pat on your back. It really is. You guys have a beautiful week. Share this episode if you think someone may benefit from it. Visit me at thelovingstartway.com. Wish it, dream it, do it, and have a beautiful week.